Tariffs could limit U.S. airline expansion.
Howard's here to explain.
Good morning. Well, Delta Airlines, the largest U.S. customer for European-made jets, says it will refuse to pay any tariff on Airbus aircraft, even if it means postponing aircraft deliveries altogether. Delta had already decided to scale back summer and fall capacity because of sluggish bookings, another effect of the Trump trade war and associated trash talk. Delta's next scheduled Airbus jetliner delivery was to have been in June. With a decision on cargo space on a Hawaii flight to the mainland, American Airlines has added another chapter to its poor record of handling wheelchairs and other cargo passengers need to get around. Arizona resident Sam Shivers, paralyzed from the neck down, arrived in Phoenix from Honolulu to find that someone in Kona had sent his motorized wheelchair to LAX. Airlines mishandle 11,000 wheelchairs and scooters a year, and American has an especially bad record, racking up millions of dollars in fines. Hawaiian Airlines had an issue on a noon Friday flight from LAX to Maui. Seconds before takeoff at LAX, going more than 100 miles an hour and accelerating, there was a vibration bad enough to warrant aborting takeoff and slamming on the brakes. Flight 33 returned to the gate. Passengers got off for inspection and repairs. The flight left 4 hours later, landing at Kahului late in the afternoon. The Dow on Friday gained 600 points. This morning it was up 300 points for a while, but goodbye to all that. At the moment, the Dow is up less than 50 points.